In the early preparation phase, elbow extension is occurring, which is when the arm is fully straightened. The elbow is a synovial hinge joint between the upper arm and the forearm, which is formed by the meeting of three long bones, the humerus in the upper arm, the ulna and the radius in the lower arm. The hinge joint is known as a uniaxial joint. It only allows flexion and extension. Elbow extension is controlled by two muscles, the triceps, which is located in the posterior side of the upper arm, and the biceps, which is located on the anterior side of the upper arm. The tricep is the prime mover, which is the agonist muscle, which is the movement of the tricep brachii pulling on the radius and ulna to straighten the arm. The bicep is the antagonist muscle, which relaxes. These muscles are antagonistic muscles. These are muscles that work in pairs. In the late preparation phase, elbow flexion is happening. This is a movement controlled by the triceps and the biceps also. The bicep brachii is a two-headed muscle which starts on the scapula that runs the length of the upper arm and attaches to the bone in the forearm, the ulna and the radius. The prime mover is a bicep, also known as the agonist muscle, located on the anterior side of the upper arm. Elbow flexion is the movement of the bicep pulling on the ulna and radius, causing the arm to bend. This is contraction of the bicep muscle. The tricep, which is located on the posterior side of the arm, is relaxing. In the late preparation phase, there is also knee flexion. The knee is a synovial hinge joint. The knee joins the femur to the tibia and the fibula. Attached to the posterior side of the femur is a hamstring, and attached to the anterior side of the upper leg is the quadriceps. The hamstring is a muscle located between the hip bone and the knee. In knee flexion, the hamstring contracts by pulling on the tibia and the knee bone, causing the leg to bend, while the quadriceps are relaxing. The quadriceps are split into four singular muscles that all attach at their bottom end. All muscles attach to the tubular tuberosity through the patellar ligament, which is located in the knee. This is another example of antagonistic pairing. Elbow extension happened in the preparation of the shot. This is when the tricep is the agonist muscle which is contracting, causing the arm to then straighten and with that force pushing the ball into the hoop. The shoulder joint is a ball and socket joint which is located between the head of the humerus and the glenoid cavity of the scapula, which is located on the posterior side of the upper body. A ball and socket joint is a multi-axial joint which allows a movement of flexion, extension, adduction, abduction, internal and external rotation. Located superior to the shoulder joint, the deltoid muscle works with the supranucleus to move the arm. This allows the movement of elbow extension that is occurring in the netball shot. The hip joint is a ball and socket joint. This is connected by two bones, the ilium and the femur. This is a less mobile joint, but is overall stronger and more stable joint because the bones attached are long bones. This is because the hip joint needs to bear the weight of the body resting on the legs while performing. Plantar flexion is when your toes are flexing downwards towards the sole, also called flexion of the ankle. The joint used is the ankle joint, which is a synovial hinge joint. This is surrounded by the long bones in the lower leg called the tibia and the fibula, which attached to the bones are two muscles, the gastrocnemius and the soleus, both located on the posterior side of the lower leg. This is the movement of standing on the tips of my toes, which is contracting the gastrocnemius. When all forces are applied, the netball will go in the direction of the force. Knee extension increases the speed of the motion of the ball, the force, and the height of the ball. This is the process of the hamstrings becoming the antagonist muscle, which is relaxing, and the quadriceps being the contracting muscle, also known as the agonist muscle, causing the leg to straighten when the movement is fully completed. Dorsiflexion is a flexion at the ankle joint so that the underside of the foot rotates upwards. This is a movement of the upper surface of the toes moving towards the shin bone at the front of the lower leg. This could be an angle from 0 to 22 degrees. This also needs both gastrocnemius and the soleus muscle for this movement to be completed. This is the only key part to the follow-through as there is no other major movements occurring.